Shalom. Bear with me. All right, Con. Make sure we got sound because this thing is tripping. All right, Con, we good. All right, Shalom. Shalom. As always. What's up, my phone, man? It's lucky. All right, but anyways, as always, we want to start off, of course, giving all honor and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone who will teach one sound doctrine. Strong shalom to the hopeful elect, and rest of the large multitude of women and children, that the Lord will have mercy on these last days. But the Chadash come back with another lesson through the Spirit and power. YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, Lord willing, is edifying. All right, real quick, I want to be straight to the point. Something that caught my eye, and it's something that Christians and I'm gonna just say, yeah, these Christians try to use to try to justify the other nations being able to receive salvation just like Israel. So the topic of today's lesson is Paul and Agrippa. Once again, when you bringing these things out, dealing with John 3:16, dealing with Acts 9, what is it? Amos 9 and 11 and 12, and anywhere in the history dealing with the Gentiles, dealing with there's neither Jew nor Greek, dealing with all these different topics, you have to understand the history and the context of why these things are being said. Understanding one, Yahawah BaHashem Yahawashi. Okay, two, that he does not change. Three, understanding the men that he has set up and in their stead and what they have to accomplish and what they have to do in the eyes of Yahawah BaHashem Yahawashi. Okay, if the Most High don't change, neither do His men, and the work does not change. All right, so we have to take all these things into context. Okay, as we all know through the scriptures, first Ezra 5, second Ezra, Ezra 4, Ezra 4 and 1, that the nations always tried to build with us, but they knew they couldn't build with us, so they will plot against us, and they will try to come up some other way, just like Jake tried to come up some other way when it comes to trying to receive salvation. Okay, they get it from their oppressors, they get it from the nations. Now we're gonna dive right into it. All right, dealing with Paul and Agrippa. Now, before we go into the actual story or the backdrop of Acts chapter 26 and Acts chapter 27, I want to get a few precepts to help you understand the subtlety that Paul used when he was talking to the king, okay, and why he said what he said, and the whole totality of it all. But first, before we even get there, like I said, we're gonna get a few precepts real quick. Matter of fact, let's start off with our Lord. Let's start off with Yahawashi. That's a perfect place to start. Bear with me. Let's start off. Okay. Hold on, let me make sure this is right here. Con. All right, let's start off here. Let's start off with Matthew. Okay, Matthew 10. And we're going to go straight into the point. I want this to be quick as possible. Matthew 10. This thing tripping. Okay, Matthew 10, verse 16. Let's see what our Lord said first. Okay. It says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves." Okay? So Yahawah BaHashem Yahawashi is saying he sends us in the midst of wolves. So we have to be wise as serpents. Okay, wise as serpents, harmless as doves. All right, first, before we move on, let's go to the blue letter. All right. Let's get this word serpent in its context. Okay, Matthew 10:16. Let's get serpent in its context. All right. Serpents.
Strong's G 3789. Office. Office.
Okay. Shalom to everybody watching. All them Akim and Aqua, brothers and sisters. All right. So, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. It says, with the ancients, the serpent was an emblem of cunning and wisdom, right? The serpent who deceived Eve was regarded by the Jews as the devil. So, which matter of fact, let's get that real quick, which brings me to my next point. Just a quick example of subtlety. Okay, it says Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, meaning this word serpent here, one of the root words, when you go into one of the definitions of this serpent here, it's the one who practiced divination. Okay, this is the serpent being crafty on the left hand side. But we also have the balance where we are crafty on the right hand side, where I'm going to show you dealing with our forefathers, Jacob, dealing with Abraham, dealing with Paul himself, and how our forefathers will use subtlety so that the ministry can continue. Use subtlety so they wouldn't get killed for the ministry, so the ministry can be continued. Okay, these are things that the Lord has set up for us to do and to learn from. The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. All right, let's go into that word subtle. Okay.
Strong's H 6175. Arum. Arum.
Arum. All right. Let's say it says subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible. Right, crafty. Okay, prudent. Okay, the scriptures speak about a prudent man. Okay, because in order to get over one on Eve, that man, that witch that had came before her had to be prudent, or in a sense, he had to be crafty. You see, and what's an example of his craftiness? Let's jump down to verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for Yahweh doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes should be open, and ye should be as gods, knowing good and evil. So he used craftiness on her, man. He used subtle. He used reverse psychology, man. All right. So this is a form of using subtlety to get what you want. Okay. He just did it on the left hand side. So we also have, like our Lord said in Matthew 10, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Matter of fact, let's go back to that real quick, and we're gonna get the next precept. Matthew 10:16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves, because we're sheep right now. We're being led. Sheep have to be led. All right, and we're in the midst of wolves. When we go out there and teach, when we're about this ministry, everybody on the outside is considered our enemy. Okay, until proven otherwise. So we're in the midst of wolves. People trying to attack us. People want to put us down because they hate YAHWASHI ultimately. All right, so we're in the midst of wolves. Okay, a wolf would devour a sheep. Only way a wolf wouldn't devour a sheep only if the sheep was wise. The sheep was able to move certain ways where that wolf couldn't find him, where the wolf couldn't sniff him out. You see? Because the sheep is what? Defenseless against a wolf, man. So we have to be wise and crafty. Prime example, don't we use subtlety in this truth now? See, Jay get mad when we say, yeah, I don't put fringes on all your damn clothes and wear them out in public and telling everybody that you're an Israelite. That's using subtlety. Because the times we're in, I'm about to show you as we continue to read in Matthew 10, YAHWASHI was using subtlety. What happened when he was coming in front of the judges, and they was making a decision for his life or which way he should go. YAHWASHI didn't talk. It said he said not a word, man. Okay, the most dramatic thing he probably ever said to them was, "Don't you know that I could have a legion of angels, come do my work, man." Roughly paraphrasing. And he said also with that, he said that if this was my world, my men will fight, man. But this is not our world, so we can't be in a state of a zealot, man. Okay, right now, this is not the time for that. The Lord said he would lean on him and he shall fight for us, man. Okay, he's going to do all of that. So we have to be wise as a serpent, meaning we have to use craftiness. We have to use subtlety. We have to be spontaneous. We have to be prudent. We have to show wisdom. Okay, it says, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. So, in a sense, Paul, okay, Paul has the truth. Paul has the testimony. The dudes he was rocking with, right, before he came to Agrippa, the dudes he was rocking with, he was standing next to him during the persecution. He was killing. He was doing what he had to do because he was rocking with the thugs. But as soon as he turned his life around and he had glimpse of YAHWASHI, he took hold to the truth. Saul, why thou persecutest me? Then they looked at this nigga like not this nigga, but they looked at Paul like this a nigga. You know, they looked at him as the nigga when they were the niggas, and they looked at him like, man, he's a traitor, man. You see, so now the persecution comes. So now the world looks at us as we're traitors because they want to continue in darkness, and they see we're doing better, so they make it seem like we're holier than thou. Same thing with Paul, all right? Because Paul knew who everybody was, man. Paul got down, man. Okay, so it says, but beware of men, they would deliver you up to the councils. So Paul had to beware of the men he used to hang around, as well as Paul was showing wisdom dealing with the king, man, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. You see, it says, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. All right, so real quick, let me grab this real quick. I want to grab let me grab this preset real quick. Let's go to Genesis. I want to show you an example of our forefather. I mentioned him, Jacob, Yaquab, of him using subtlety. Same thing Paul did, man. So like I said, we don't wear fringes on all our clothes. We're subtle. We're like what's his name? Batman, Bruce Wayne, or we're like Superman, Clark Kent. Okay, we're the real superheroes. We got our superhero outfits on under our what's it called? Our everyday wardrobe, our disguise. So that because everybody don't need to know that we are Superman or Batman. Because if they did, well, terrible things will happen. It's easier for the enemy to plot. Jake talking about they want to build communities. It's easy for the enemy to come in and kill all of y'all, and take your wives and do whatever he want to do. He have everybody disclosed in a specific location. Why do you think YAHWASHI scattered us to the four corners of the earth? So Esau, it's not easy for Esau to pinpoint all the elect. Because the elect is going to be doing what we're doing now, Lord willing, we're part of that number. But it's harder to find the elect and who are the elect, which is why YAHWASHI had the multitude of faces and our people being scattered to all nations. YAHWASHI did that. Was a chess move, man. Esau thought he got over, but actually the Most High got over, man. You see, so you got to keep those things in mind. So this is Genesis 27:34 real quick. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter. Right. So this is an example of of Esau seeking repentance. This is why he's crying, because he understood that he would not be able to repent. He understood that he have no form of the blessing in its totality from YAHWASHI. That's why he wept. He understood this. Because if you know that, because he after he gave his birthright up, he understood that this was a big mistake. He understood he couldn't get nothing else from that. He cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety. Who was that? Who was his brother? Jacob. Jacob came with subtlety and have taken thy blessing. So that was Jacob wrong? No. Because the scriptures tell you in Romans 9, before the children were born, knowing either good or evil, these things were ordained. These things were set up. The scriptures tell you that Isaac shall thy seed be called. The scriptures tell you that Jacob is his only begotten. Okay? These things are that's why I did a lesson a while back. Did Jacob steal Esau's blessing? On a carnal sense, you could say it, but spiritually he didn't, man, because it was already set up. You see, one vessel to honor, one vessel to dishonor, of dishonor, one vessel of righteousness, one vessel of wickedness. Okay, so it says, and he said, thy brother came with subtlety and have taken away thy blessing, man. And what it say in 36? And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? He's saying that because what does Jacob mean? What does Yaquad mean? Yaquad means supplanter, okay? A crafty one, you know? A man of trickery, but righteous trickery, to gain what he need, to gain what he want. Didn't oh damn, I forgot. I can't think of his name right now. But then Jacob wives, their father do the same thing, trick Jacob into marrying one of his daughters. Then you know what I'm saying? That's just using wisdom to gain what you need. Okay, righteously though. For he have supplanted me. His name means supplanted. Let's go into that word supplanted. Cause Jake don't understand what the hell is going on, man. Jake is just all right. Supplanted. Supplant. Let's go into supplant. Man. All right, let's go back. I thought it was going to be, but let's just read it. It says supplant, to circumvent, take by the heel, follow at the heel. It says overreach, attack at the heel. Okay. Jacob grabbed Esau's heel. His means to supplant. Okay. Where's the word? Yeah, same thing, same word. Yeah, let me see what this say on here. Supplant. So like you bear with me. This the AB 1611. Okay. Let's see what that say. And then we're gonna move on. I'm gonna get into this Paul and Agrippa. Supplant. I'm gonna read it off screen. It says to remove or displace by stratagem. Right, to remove or displace by stratagem. Okay, meaning strategy, craftiness. Okay, wisdom, discretion. It says, or to displace and take the place of, as a rival supplants another in the affections of his mistress. Right, to overthrow, to undermine. Okay, so these are some of the things and some of the actions that we have taken part of to forward the ministry, man. You have to understand that. Okay, so Jacob's name means supplanter, which means he got over, man. Okay, he got over righteously though, right? It says to remove or displace by stratagem. He used a strategy to overcome Esau so that the blessing in the ministry can continue. Okay, what happened with Ruth and Boaz? Ruth used subtlety. If Ruth and Boaz didn't connect, the lineage would have been cut off. Okay, the book of Ruth is so important because from that moment it kept the lineage going. When you go into Matthew 1 and you see the generations of how important it was for our Messiah to come into the earth and his natural form. I mean, well, in his light, okay, like manner. So we have to understand that using subtlety is what we do as a people to so that things can continue. All right, so let's go from there, and let's make this bigger. Let's go. Real quick, let's go to 1 Samuel. All right, Samuel. Let's go to 21. Let's go straight to the point. This is First Samuel. Let's see what King David did. How King David used subtlety. Let's start at 10. And David arose and fled that day for fear of Saul, and went to Achish, the king of Gath, right? Because David killed Goliath, right? He slew Goliath. Goliath was a what? A Philistine, all right? And Achish was of the Philistines as well, all right? Saul was seeking David's life. It says, and fled that day for the fear of Saul, and went to Achish, the king of Gath. And the servants of Achish said unto him, is not this David the king of the land? Right. Is this not the king? Did they not sing one to another of him in dancing, saying, Saul have slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s? And David laid up these words in his heart, and was so afraid of Achish, the king of Gath. So they was like, hold on. David was like, hold on now. They know exactly who I am. Shalom, YAHAWASHI, HAQADASH, HAQADASH. So that he knows exactly who I am. All right. So based off the things he's saying, he sounds like he has treasure. He has gold in his hands, man. So what did David do? He took the chart. He said he laid up these words in his heart, man. He meditated on his mind what he was saying, and then he had to think fast. And he changed his behavior before them. So he started to switch up his behavior and feigned himself mad in their hands. So he started to act, I mean, I hate to use the word, but retarded. He started to act like he had mental illness, and scribbled on the doors of the gate and let his spit fall down upon his head. Right. He started to look like he had a mental damn, what is the word, man? You know, he had disabilities, okay? He started to let his drool hang on his beard. Then said Achish unto his servants, lo, you see the man is mad. So they was like, hold on, this man is crazy. Wherefore then have ye brought him to me? Have I need of madman that ye have brought his fellow to play the madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house? Right. So the point of bringing this out is that showing you that David even used God on the right hand side. He even used subtlety, man. Okay, he used craftiness, man. Okay, this is what Paul did when he was in the face of Agrippa. I just want to show you some of these examples. Okay, let's show you an example of Paul himself. All right, Paul himself had to do this multiple times, man. Every man of the Lord have to do this because we live in a world that's not ours, man. We live in a kingdom that's not ours, man. It says the chief captain commanded him to be brought into the castle, and bade that he should be examined by scourging, that he might know wherefore they cry so against him. And as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, the officer, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman? So was Paul a Roman? Huh? No, because Paul told you, are they Hebrews? So am I. Okay? He said, I'm from the tribe of Bunyamin. Okay, he from the tribe of Benjamin. So he knew he wasn't a Roman. That's just like me, or any brother on the listening, or sister, or brother. No, we hey, they come for us. Hey, are you a Hebrew Israelite? You know, and you know it's life or death. Like right now, if somebody come into the camp, or somebody see us in the grocery store, and they saw us at camp, but they see us at the grocery store. Do we start? No, brother, rebuke you. No, bro. Why we got to do all that, man? No, hey, no, bro. You know, I'm an African American. You know, I'm a U.S. citizen or whatever. I don't know, but I'm just saying this is what Paul did. Lawful for you scourge a man that is a Roman. So he had to use subtlety because they was about to kill this man. Okay, they was about to kill this man. You see, you know. Paul, the Roman, he said, it's lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman. He was going by his what? We are African Americans. That's our citizenship. To scourge a man that is a Roman, being a Roman was Paul's citizenship. Okay, this is what he was identified as according to the area that he dwelt in. It says, and uncondemned. When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, take heed that thou doest, for this man is a Roman. Then the chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, yeah. You see, Paul is, look, man, Paul knew exactly what he was doing, man. Just like we, in this truth, We need to know exactly what we doing, man. Because if for the very moment that we slip, the very moment that we fall and forget the mission, we fail, man. All right, that very instance where we forget about what's going on and how important the mission is. Don't you think Yahawashi wanted to scourge these dudes, man? Don't you think Yahawashi wanted to take vengeance, man? Huh? Come on now. With me. I had to change locations, man. My computer was about to die again. Yeah, man. So hey, our people is amazing, man. Shalom. Yeah, I posted that earlier. Khan. Matthew 10 and 16. I read it again. Shemach At. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of woods, but be ye therefore wise as serpents, harmless as dove. Right. Khan. Amawan wa mashai ba. Shalom. Khan. He was a Roman citizen. Khan. Exactly. That it was not lawful for a Roman citizen to be put to death in Judea. Exactly. Khan. So hey, when you see and Paul, that's what, knowing his area, knowing his environment. You see how smart, brilliant the apostles was. How brilliant the men of YAHWASHI is. Think about our apostles and elders, a great millstone. I mean, they are, man. They are amazing, man. How the Spirit has given them utterance. How the Spirit has given them. I mean, it just would be amazing how the elders really go into everything, man. They go into everything, prophecies, herbs. You know, they know the land. They know their environment. They know. I mean, it's just amazing. That's how you know they are a true man of YAHWASHI. And this is an example of Paul. He said, then the chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, yeah. And the chief captain answers, with a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Paul said, but I was freeborn. You see, because Paul, listen, like I said, man, Paul wanted to continue the ministry as we all should, man. You see, it says, then straightway they departed from him, which should have examined him. And the chief captain also was afraid after he knew that he was a Roman because he had bound him, right? And on the morrow, because he would have known the certainty wherefore he was accused of the Jews, he loosed him from his bands and commanded the chief priests and all their council to appear and brought Paul down and set him before them. Before them. All right. Oh, Salakia. I want to get this other example real quick. Let's go to Genesis 20. We're going to come back to Paul. I was talking about this earlier with the brother. Real quick. This is dealing with Abraham. Abraham used subtlety as well. He called his wife his sister, man, in order not to get killed, man. It says Genesis 2 and 20 and 2. Abraham said unto of Sarah, his wife, she is my sister, and Amalek, the king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But Yahweh came to Amalek in a dream by night and said to him, behold, thou art but a dead man for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Amalek had not come near her, and he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, she is my sister? And she herself said, he is my brother. And in the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. And Yahweh said unto him in a dream, yeah, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffer I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that thine are. Therefore Amalek rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in their ears, and the man was so afraid. You see, and what is that? Did Abraham lie? Wrong. He didn't lie. Let's jump down to the last two verses. It says, damn, let me see what I want. Let's go down to not the last two verses. Let's go down to 12. And yet indeed she is my. No, let's start at 11. And Abraham said, because I thought, surely the fear of Yahweh is not in its place. There we go again, man. That's my point. So the fear of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is not in his kingdom, not in that place. Okay, things written aforetime are written for our learning. So he had to use subtlety because he know they're not men of the Lord. So therefore they can kill him, do whatever they want to do, man. This is the same case with Paul, man. And they will slay me for my wife's sake. You see, to kill a man, take his wife, and continue your lineage, right? That's how things rock back in the day, man. And yet, indeed, she is my sister. See, he says, yeah, she's still my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. You see? And it came to pass when Yahweh caused me to wander from my father's house that I said unto her, this is thy kindness which thou shalt show unto me at every place whither we shall come. Say of me, he is my brother. So, hey, man, that was all set up by Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. That was all craftiness, man. All right, subtlety, man. And that's what Paul was doing. Let's get a few more, and we're going to go into that Acts real quick. I just want to get a couple more real quick. Proverbs 1. Let's hit that real quick. Proverbs 1 and 4. It says to give subtlety. Right now, let's start at 2. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the... I got to start at the top. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. To give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. Let's go into that word discretion real quick. Made me think of another precept. Discretion. It says...
Strong's H 4209. Mezimah.
Right.
Mezimah.
Mezimah. You right? Discretion. It says purpose, device, plot. Woo! You see? Plot. Purpose. Okay? Intent. Witty invention. Okay? Witty goes into understanding. Okay? Because you can use these things on the right-hand side, man. Who you think gave it to the wicked? You understand? So let's go read that verse again. It says, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. So, right, so the young man knowledge and discretion. Now, from there, what's that? Proverbs, almost forgot it. The next chapter. Proverbs 2 and 10. Real quick, when wisdom enter into thy mind, which is the heart, lab in Hebrew, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee. Right. So prudency, okay, understanding, knowledge, wisdom, understanding shall keep thee, shall preserve thee. Craftiness, subtlety should be able to keep you. Especially the scriptures say, like I was talking to the brother Aquam earlier, the scriptures say, why should thou die before thy time, man? You see? So the Lord has everything set up. I can Hebrews 12 real quick. All right. Now, if Paul know that Paul knew Agrippa was an Edomite, man. All right. Before I read that, let's see what the brothers got on the comment board. Yeah, I was gonna get that too. That was on my mind too. Romans 13 and 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of Yahweh. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh. So Paul, see, that's another thing YAHWASHI knew. That's everything that's set up that I've been bringing out. All the prophets knew. So they had to use subtlety in order for the ministry to continue, and for order for prophecy to continue. This is very, very simple. Okay. It says, whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of Yahweh, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. Yeah, man. Said, Shamak, I was watching Hunger Games, and the chick Katniss had to put on an act like she liked this dude so she could service or survive. Let me see. Of course, Esau put this effeminate twist on everything, but it made sense. This brother talking like you funny, bro. Sense. I don't know what that is, King. Um, real quick. Let me get this real quick. So Paul knew Agrippa was an Edomite, right? Because Paul wrote Hebrews, Paul wrote Romans. Okay, Paul wrote these things, so he knew Agrippa was an Edomite, man. Vocab Malone. He said, "Do you think when he came out with this, do you think that Paul wanted Agrippa in chains?" You know, and he said, do you think Paul wanted Agrippa in chains? Yeah, Paul wanted Agrippa in chains, man. Because he's an Edomite. But why would Paul say that to his face right then? He would have killed him, man. It wasn't time yet. Man, let's get this real quick. Hebrews 12 and 16. And I got a few more we close out. Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. Who wrote Hebrews? Paul. Who wrote Hebrews 12 and 16? Paul. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. That's why he was crying. Okay, he sought it carefully with tears, for he found no place of repentance. So the same Paul that wrote this, right? Same Paul that wrote this is the same Paul that was in front of Agrippa. So you think he don't know what's going on? It's as though he sought it carefully with tears. So he knows no repentance. And matter of fact, let me get two more. Let me get two more. And we're gonna go into it because watch what Agrippa say. Agrippa says something to validate what Paul is saying right here, even though he sought it carefully with tears. Okay. Um. Matter of fact. Damn. What's that? Matthew 5. Let's get two more real quick. Matthew 5 and 25. It says, "Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison." Okay, so right, so what YAHWASHI is saying to agree with thy adversary quickly, man. Okay, why? To preserve. Why? To forward the mission. Why? To continue the mission. Okay, like the elder used a great example before. Hey, in this example we use all the time. If an officer pull you over, as soon as he come to your window, you gonna say, "Fuck, nigga, what you want with me, cuz?" Like you gonna talk like that, man, or you gonna say, "What's going on? What's the problem, officer?" Yeah, your tail light was out, or you didn't stop fully at the stop sign, you know. So I'm writing you a ticket. You're gonna say, "Man, fuck that. Y'all always hate on the black man." You know what I'm saying? That's stupid, man. That's not using subtlety. You gotta agree with your adversary quickly while you are in the way with him, man, and move on, man. Because this ain't our kingdom. This ain't our time to fight, man. Because if it was YAHWASHI kingdom, we would fight, man. You understand? What's that? Proverbs 15. A soft answer turn away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. You see? So a soft answer turneth away wrath. Is going to come a time where these things are not going to be needed. We're not going to have to give Esau a soft answer and bite our tongue all the goddamn time, and most high willing here soon, because we don't have spiritual powers. But right now we got to bite our tongue, man, with a lot of things. Jake played tough to other Israelites, but they won't say none of that shit to Esau, because they know they've asked to be locked up, looking dumb as hell. Now you got to play butt defense because you in a hardcore prison with other Jakes who are lusting every goddamn thing they see, just because you want to be a hard nigga, man. You know, Jake tough on the keyboard, Jake tough on these comment boards, but they never say none of this to their enemy. You know, they oppressor. Get the fuck out of here, man. Let's get one more King James, and I'm gonna read Acts 26. I'm gonna read that straight through. This is so you get the context, and we're gonna close out with Acts 27. Let me get one more. Sirach 9 and Sirach 9 and 13. It says, "Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill." And who have power over death? The devil. Hebrews chapter 2. Lord said he's gonna he came to in the flesh like us to have to defeat and to have power over him that has power over death. That is the devil. It said to keep thee far from the man that have power to kill. 2 Maccabees 7:16. Thou doest thou wilt. But think that our nation are not forsaken of YAHAWASHI. Thou hast power over man, and thou doest thou will. You see? Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill, so shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come unto him, make no faults, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. Everywhere we go is a trap. Everywhere we go is a setup for Israel to fall. So we always have to move with subtlety. We're always moving in and out of traffic. All right, trying to get to our destination. That's just what has to happen. That's just what it is. All right. That's just the system that's set up for us right now, man. Jake always talking about, yeah, the system not made for us. Of course the system not made for us, man. It never was intended to be. All right. Let's go to Acts 26. We're going to read it straight through so you get some of the context. And then we're going to go to Acts 27 because you're going to see what Agrippa said to Paul. Acts 26. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, thou art permitted to speak for thyself. Then Paul stretched forth the hand and answered for himself. I think myself happy, King Agrippa, because I shall answer for myself this day before thee, touching all the things whereof I am accused of the Jews. Because right, he was persecuting with the Jews. You know, he was out there banging with them, man. But then as soon as he left the clique, you know, they started to bring up accusations against him, man. Especially because I know thee to be expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews. Wherefore I beseech thee to hear me patiently. My manner of life from my youth, which was at first among my own nation at Jerusalem, know all the Jews. So Paul knew all he knew this stuff, man. Which knew me from the beginning. They know. See, man, this is simple, man. If they would testify that after the most straightest sect of our religion, I lived a Pharisee, and now I stand and am judged for the hope of the promise made of Yahweh unto our fathers, until which promise our 12 tribes instantly serving Yahweh day and night hope to come. For which hope's sake, King Agrippa, I am accused of the Jews. You see, so he's not. This context is dealing with Jerusalem, Israel as a whole. This has nothing to do with King Agrippa. This has nothing to do with Edomites or no other Edomite or no other nation. He's talking to King Agrippa in context, and the context is that all the Jews knew what was going on. Okay, he had the context of what that he's telling a King Agrippa of his old ways and the concept of what he was doing and the things that he was partaking in, as well as what the accusations that's being brought before him. Okay, because King Agrippa was again an Edomite. It says, why should it be thought a thing incredible with you that Yahweh should raise the dead? It says, I verily thought with myself that I ought to do many things contrary to the name of Yahushua of Nazareth, which thing I also did in Jerusalem, and many of the saints that I shut up in prison. Right, so he's telling him that he was a Pharisee of the Pharisees, man. He was doing all that shit, bro. You know, that's what he's telling him, man. Right, so let's keep going. Having received authority from the chief priests, and when they were put to death, I gave my voice against them, and I punished them off in every synagogue, and compelled them to blasphemy, and being exceedingly mad against them, I persecuted them even unto strange cities. So remember, he was a gangbanger. Paul was telling you how he used to gangbang with the wicked scribes and Pharisees. Whereupon, as I went to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priests, at midday, O king, I saw in the way a light from heaven above the brightness. Right, because in Acts 22, I believe is where, I think it's Acts 22, where this account is at. But he said, he's telling them what happened, how he was converted. It says, and when we were all fallen, my fault, my slacking. 13, at midday, O king, I saw the way a light from heaven above the brightness, of the sun shining around about me and them which journey with me. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. So he's telling him that he had word from Yahawashi himself. And I said, who art thou, Lord, Master? And he said, I am Yahawashi whom thou persecuted. Right, because he said it in the Hebrew tongue. He didn't say Jesus, because that's not Hebrew. But rise and stand upon thy feet, for I have appeared unto thee for this purpose, to make thee a minister. Right, a minister means to serve. Okay, so he made him a servant. He converted thee, and a witness both of these things which thou hast seen, and of those things in the which I will appear unto thee, delivering thee from the people and from the Gentiles, unto whom now I send thee, to open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan unto Yahawah BAHASHAM Yahawashi, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. So Paul was persecuting the church so that Yahawah BAHASHAM Yahawashi can show his mercy. Okay, so he used Paul to actually testify and be a witness unto the power of Yahawah BAHASHAM Yahawashi amongst people who were in like manner, in terms of their mindset. Like he said right here, from the power of Satan unto Yahweh. Paul was in the mindset of Satan. Okay, when you persecute the church, that's the mindset of Satan, a dark force. So this was an example. So Paul was so the ministry can be with sincerity. Okay, because he once was too in that darkness, and now he can preach the gospel in the doctrine and the religion that we upheld to, which is our nationality. Okay, to its totality, with toughness, grit, and austereness. Whereupon, O King Agrippa, I was not disobedient to the heavenly vision, you see, but showed first unto them of Damascus, and at Jerusalem, and throughout all the coast of Judea, and then to the Gentiles, that they shall repent and turn to Yahweh and do works meet for repentance. So, right, so he know that Agrippa is a Gentile, a natural born Gentile. So why wouldn't he say, and then to you Gentiles? Because that's not the Gentiles he's talking about. He's talking to Gentiles, specific Gentiles that come from the lineage of Jerusalem, that are Hellenized, that are Hellenized through the customs and the ways of the people, that became like the other nations. For these causes the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me. Right, because they're stuck in the old ways. Okay, which is why Yahawashi said to the wicked scribes and Pharisees, they that are without sin cast the first stone. Okay, because he was showing you that everybody is under that subjection. So that's why we had to rely on our lawyer, our mediator, which is Yahawashi. It says, having therefore obtained help of Yahweh, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say shall come, that Yahawashi shall suffer, and that he shall be the first that shall rise from the dead, and shall show light unto the people and to the Gentiles. And as he thus spake for himself, Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, thou art beside thyself. They said this nigga is mad. Much learning doeth make thee mad. Right? They thought he was tripping. But he said, I am not mad, most noble Festus, but speak forth the words of truth in soberness. For the king knoweth of these things, before whom also I speak freely. For I am persuaded that none of these things are hidden from him. For this thing was not done in a corner. King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets? So he said, what chapter am I? I'm in chapter 26. He said, what'd he say? King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets? Now this is the big controversial verse right here. Jake run at this and say, see, why would Paul say this to King Agrippa? He said, King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets? I know that thou believest, because Paul was facing death, man. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian. Now, why the hell would he say that? Because he's an Edomite, man. He's an Edomite. That's why he said, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian. Because why? He's a heathen, man. That Paul talked so swell, okay? He used so much crafty words and such beautiful words that it almost convinced Agrippa to plead, okay, to Paul to for the inheritance, man. Okay? Or the knowledge and wisdom that was given unto us. And Paul said, I would to God, I would to Yahweh, that not only thou, but also all that hear me this day, we're both almost and altogether such as I am, except these bonds. You see, because they were free and he was held up. And when he had thus spoken, the king rose up, and the governor and Bernice, and they that sat with him. So that made them feel good. Because Paul, like, you know what? What I'm gonna do for y'all, I'm gonna pray to the man upstairs, right? You know what I'm saying? They came, that's, you know how Jake be. I'm gonna pray to the Father, YAHWASHI, YAHAWASHI. You know, I'm gonna pray for you, and I'm gonna pray for all of y'all, that y'all be in like mind, you know? Because why? Paul was using subtlety, man. He was using craftiness, man. And when he had thus spoken, the king rose up, and the governor and Bernice, and they that sat with him. And when they were going aside, they talked between themselves, saying, this man doeth nothing worthy of death or of bonds. You see? So now they're talking amongst themselves, saying that he didn't do nothing worthy of death. This man is willing to pray for us. Okay? Imagine that. You in the courtroom and you like, Judge, can I pray for you? You know? Even if he's not really so-called religious, he's going to take that as a sign of humbleness, of someone that wouldn't hurt a fly. You know how they portray people in the world. Then said Agrippa unto Festus, this man might have been set at liberty if he had not appealed unto Caesar. So, I mean, I don't got to read the next chapter 25 or chapter 27. Y'all can read that on your own. But the point of this is that Paul was telling, we read the context of the chapter when you started at the top. Paul was telling him everything that he knew and what he did and how he's been converted. All right. And he went in about showing how he was filthy, and he's still filthy, but we all are filthy. But he was showing him how he was before he was clean in the mind. Okay. And how that he was never disobedient unto the voice of YAHWASHI, YAHAWASHI. And then went on to say that what his purpose was, which was teaching and preaching unto the Gentiles, the Israelite foreigners, the Israelite strangers, the Israelites who didn't know they were Israelites. Okay? Which is why he said there is neither Jew nor Greek, free nor bond, because we are all under Hamashiach Yahushua. You see? Because even though we were calling ourselves Greeks, we still were Israelites. We're still under the covenants. We're still under the promises, the laws, the statutes, and commandments. For this cause, the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me. So then he went to explain how, because he converted and they didn't understand that Yahawashi was the anointed, and Paul is preaching that same message, they're going to try to kill him because that's the light. The children, they desire light. I mean, they desire darkness rather than light. Okay, it says, well, I wanted to bring out one more point. 23, that Hamashiach shall suffer, and that he shall be the first that shall rise from the dead, and shall show light unto the people and to the Gentiles. You see, so then Paul again went to describe his ministry and what his purpose was to go into the Gentiles, the ones that were ignorant in the mind of being Israelites. Okay, that's what this whole passage is talking about. But you don't understand it unless you know the history of how we got down in terms of when we faced persecution and tribulation and whatever it is, man. We always use subtlety so that we would continue, because Paul wanted to continue to preach. Okay, all right, the work went on after this, man. But the point of, you have to understand all of that. You can't just jump into Acts 26 and read 27. King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets? I know that thou believest. See, the Edomite believe. Nigga, what? Come on now, stop being simple. We all know the other precepts. Precepts don't triumph another precept. So therefore, it has to be some type of gap or some type of misunderstanding. if you're connecting this, or you're trying to connect this with other precepts that don't make sense. All right. So wisdom and subtlety, Paul and Agrippa. All right. Paul was facing death. Matter of fact, let me go to the next chapter real quick. I'm not gonna read it, but let me see. Let's read the first verse. It says, "And when it was determined that we should sail into Italy, they delivered Paul and certain other prisoners unto one named Julius, a centurion of Augustus' band." All right, so you can read this on your own. But Paul was went to Rome. Okay, let me see. Damn, I can't remember what's that in that chapter. But you got to read that chapter. Read 25 and read 27, man. Okay, matter of fact, you should really read from Acts 22 to 27. All right, but the point of the matter is that Paul, he used subtlety, man. Okay, he used subtlety. Okay, going back to again, not supplant. I want subtlety. I'm gonna show it this time. Subtlety. All right, because this is what Paul did, man, and as well as all our forefathers, man. They used subtlety because they understood the work had to continue, man. The work had to continue. Like right now, we use subtlety at our jobs because the work have to continue. What good is me in jail, right? If now I can't preach the word. I'm at work being over righteous, talking about fuck these Edomites, all these Russian Jewish so-called Jewish people at my job. Fuck y'all going into slavery. You know what I mean? Then next thing you know, I'm doing 3 years, and then the judgment come. And I get judged, and I'm locked behind bars because I was over righteous. That don't even make sense, bro. We gotta use subtlety always, man. Like Sirach 9 and 13 said, man. But subtlety, thinness, firmness, exality in a physical sense. As the subtlety of air or light, the subtlety of sounds. It says, intelligible discourses are spoiled by too much subtlety and nice divisions. Refinement, extreme acuteness, okay? Extreme acuteness. Let's go to see if we can go to subtle. It says, let's go, it says, planned by art, deceitful as a subtle scheme. So that's what Paul did. He was deceitful with a subtle scheme. Okay? Cunning, crafty, insinuating as a subtle person, a subtle adversary, sly, artful, right? Artful, creative. Okay? Art is creative, right? As you can see in the background, my easel. Art is creative. All right. So this is real simple. This didn't have to be that long, but I just wanted to give a few examples of how our forefathers used subtlety when they were facing facing what's the word? I'm gonna just say facing death, facing persecution, facing prison, facing whatever. We will always use craftiness, subtlety in order to get over on our enemy. Okay, the righteous way. Esau, remember, we're the former of all things. Esau do our ways, but he just do it wickedly. Okay, he set up a priesthood. He set up his own elect, which is the elite bankers. Okay, or his chief tribe, which is Amalek, which are the fake Jews. The 1948ers, we call them, over there in the land. You know, he has his whole setup just like YAHWASHI, man. Okay, so, and there's so much more you can go into this. I just wanted to touch on that part. Another brother can tackle this too. Baba Gashab, feel free. you know, to bring more edification out, because this you can go into this so many ways. It's so simple, man. Paul and Agrippa, he was dealing with Agrippa because Agrippa was the king. Paul was the regular smuggler, okay, who was brought before the king from accusations from the Jews, and he had to use subtlety, which in the end you saw, they asked like, why is this man even brought before us? Same thing with me, and I got arrested from shit I ain't do. Had a whole case, right? Twice. One when I was 16, I had to go to. Now I was dealing with court for a whole year, missing school. Judge like, why is you even here? This shit is retarded. Second time, you know, in Toledo campus, got arrested for some shit I ain't do. They tried to say I did burglary and entering. I'm like, what the fuck? I just got to the campus. How does? Anyways, they was in jail for some days, and then had to go to court. They like, what? The cop didn't show up. You know, we had another court date. The cop didn't show up. You know, it just everybody. The lady was telling my mom, my people, some stuff that she wasn't supposed to. The Most High was testing my faith. Nonetheless, you know, it don't make sense. So they like the judge, like, man, listen, just don't go back to the campus. We know we have no proof that you did this, from the cameras to the witnesses. This shit is dumb, waste of time. Just don't go back to the campus so you can't be accused of it. You see? So that's what they kind of did. They said, you know, this shit is dumb. Like, you know, we have no liable evidence. We have no nothing. Why? Because of the craftiness, the subtlety, the what's the other word they use? Oh yeah, as a subtle scheme, the scheme, man. In my scheme, I went to the cop who had the warrant for my arrest. I gave him my ID, and he still put a warrant out for my arrest. But I had went back to him like, hey, bro, what you doing, man? You know, we ganged up on him, had our story right. You know, went to he interviewed each one of us one by one. He told me some things. I said, bro, you know, according to this, that, and the third, which is led to what? Him not showing up in court the next time, in which they threw out the case. So these things, why? Because I used subtlety. I was wise. I'm a sheep in the midst of wolves. I'm against the system. Automatically. The first time I got arrested, I still smell like soap from the shower. The cop knew that. He took me to the car and said, I said, bro, you know I'm innocent, bro. You could tell, you could smell the freshness on me. I don't even got no wrinkle on my clothes. You see, because they thought I was fighting. He like, well, how old are you? I said, I'm 16. And then he threw me in the car and said, I'm underage. You see? The system is automatically against you. So we always got to use craftiness and subtlety wherever we are, man. That's just how it got to be. You know? So I'm not going to continue to ramble. I pray this is edifying to the sheep and lambs of YAHWASHI, YAHWASHI. Again, I want to give all honor and glory. Kind of backwards now because my YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Come on us again to the apostles and elders, great millstone, rule well, teacher on sound doctrine, strong shalom, to the hopeful elect, lambs and the sheep of YAHWASHI, YAHWASHI that's out there and laboring and enduring sound doctrine. Shalom.